The reason why you see a lot of billionaires or millionaires, and the reason why they have so much money, most of us may think, oh my gosh, they work really hard for it. And that may be true, right? But in order for them to work really hard for it, they had to believe themselves first to be worthy of all the money that they have currently. Welcome back to my channel where we discuss all things money, marketing, and metaphysics. Joining me today is my sidekick, Manny, and we are going to be talking about all things money and what money really is. Okay, so here's the thing. I feel so passionate about talking about the topic of money and why I'm a money coach now and why I help my clients really get to that next level when it comes to money. And that's because growing up, I didn't have a great relationship with money. I felt really disempowered by money. And most of all, I actually felt like money was controlling me. What I realized was that a lot of people actually feel the same way. And that's actually how I got into coaching and what I do today. Now, in today's video, I really wanted to share with you what money really is. And the reason why it's so important for you to know what money really is because if you don't even know what money is, how can you attract more of it to you, right? If you don't know what money is, how can you make more money? So in this video, you're really gonna learn what money really is because it's actually not what you think. All right, so before we dive into what money really is, let's talk about the history of money because that's important, right? Basically, the history of money really dates back thousands of years, right? Our paper money really got its start back in actually medieval times, medieval England around 1000 AD. So before paper money, goldsmiths, money changers, and really the public were using gold as currency or money, right? But the problem was that gold was risky to really store at your home. So if you can imagine living back then, it was a little more barbaric than today, right? Home robberies were much more common. And so the solution was that people would take their gold to goldsmiths who would store their gold for them and then give them a receipt, which they called a note for their gold. But what happened was that the public soon realized it was so much easier to exchange their paper receipts or their notes of gold with each other than going back to the goldsmith. So out of that experience, that's how the paper money was created. So people started to really exchange their receipts or notes amongst themselves. And what the goldsmiths and the bankers realized were that people would hardly ever come take out their actual gold. So they started creating more notes that they had, right? A worth of gold. So this practice of bankers really continues today, and this system even allows banks to create money out of thin air, right? This is why the dollar actually devalues so quickly. As of right now, the dollar is actually devaluing, right? Ever since coronavirus hit, even now, the dollar is devaluing as we speak. So essentially, if you think about it, money is a form of exchange, right? So what is money now, really? So think about this for a second. I really want you to imagine right now, if you had an absolute abundance of money, right? Like you didn't have to worry about money, you just had a lot of it. So much money that you wouldn't even be able to spend it all in this lifetime. Think about that for a second. So if you need any amount, imagine having several $1 billion. Now, how would that make you feel? Drop that feeling in the comments below. I'd love to know, how would that make you feel? How would you feel if you suddenly, you won the lottery and it was for $5 billion or something, right? Imagine that for a second, because would you feel ecstatic? Would you feel relief? Would you feel excited? What would you feel, right?
I don't know. I can't even speak right now.
It's a great thing for you to envision this. And the reason is because if you think about it, money is all about how you feel, okay? And stay with me for a second. And that is because money is all about faith over value. So it's really important for you to understand, okay, that your feeling towards money is your key and your ability to attract it. Now, you see, via the law of attraction, you really create your own reality, right? the reason why you see a lot of billionaires or millionaires, and the reason why they have so much money, most of us may think, oh my gosh, they work really hard for it. And that may be true, right? But in order for them to work really hard for it, they had to believe themselves first to be worthy of all the money that they have currently, right? Think about it. So many times in the past, I have self-sabotaged myself whenever I got a large chunk of money. This again was in the past. When I was not conscious of it, I would lose it all or I would spend it all. And it wasn't because of me not knowing how to manage money. Money, 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 money. That could be the case for most of you guys, but really it stems from self-sabotage, right? Especially if you're not comfortable with money. And I think that leads me to my next point, and that is when you're not comfortable with money or talking about money, then what ends up happening is that you'll lose it or you won't feel worthy of being around it, right? So therefore, it's so important when you think about what really money really is just faith instead of value, right? Because the value of money changes all the time. You know, I can say that this candle right over here, like I think I paid how much? I paid $22 for this candle, okay? So again, someone just came up with this price. I didn't come up with this price. This person came up with this price. And again, there is no rule book that says like this candle is worth $22, right? Like this person just made it up. And so as you can see, you know, value changes all the time. You know, I can price my services any which way, but really money is faith. It's faith rather than value. And when you realize this exchange, when you realize that all money is the feelings that we put behind it, then we can actually attract it more, because then we know the right type of feelings that we would feel when we attract the money that we want. Okay, so I want to talk about another startling fact that you probably not think about all the time, okay? So I don't know if you know this, but 8% of the world's money doesn't even exist in physical form. So what do I mean by that? So when you go and check your bank account and you see that, let's say, I don't know, there's like $20,000 in there, technically, like if you wanted to, you couldn't really take out all the $20,000 immediately, right? I mean, the bank is holding that money for you. Now, the bank doesn't even keep all of its money there. It's really just numbers on a computer. If you think about it, at the end of the day, literally what money is that it's numbers on a computer, especially when you're taking your bank account, right? Now, before you go into panic mode thinking like, oh my gosh, like I need to go to my bank and I need to pull everything out, I really want you to think about kind of like this idea, I mentioned this earlier, which is that money is all about faith rather than value, right? And all that is to say is that money isn't what you think it is, right? Before you jump into any assumptions, I really want you to think about this and really resonate with this, because the reason why there is so many conflicting arguments or ideas around money, or so many feelings or all these things, it all comes down to belief, right? When I'm coaching my clients and they have this thing that's stuck within them, or they feel like they're stuck currently, and they feel like they have this relationship with money, and they just, in that moment, they feel like they're there, right? They're stuck. Really, it all comes down to this belief about what money is. Okay, and I talk more about this in my book, where there's this one belief that is really holding you back. And they call this your Night King belief, that is really holding you back from making the money that you desire. Okay, so think about how you were brought up. What did your parents tell you about money growing up? Since for me, I grew up in a middle-class family, but my parents treated us as if we were poor, right? My dad would constantly talk about how we didn't have enough money, or that, you know, we can only take 5-minute showers. I remember, oh my goodness, I remember washing my face in the evenings, and my dad would turn off the faucet while I'm trying to wash my face.
No! No!
And he was saying that you have to close the handle every time you finish like using the water. Like you can't let the water run. And so there is that ideal of scarcity, right? Like, okay, there's not enough, so you need to close it, right? But really there is enough. There is enough. It's like just a lie that you have been told all your lives that things are running out. The idea of scarcity, and that's another topic or another video that I can talk about, the idea of scarcity, right? When scarcity is really just an illusion. scarcity is an illusion. And so when you can understand that all money is your feelings, all money is your perception of it, then what you can do is that you can become empowered by it, right? Because all money really, really, really is just a feeling. It's just faith. And once you can change those feelings, then you can attract more money to you. Okay, cool. So I am currently doing this money series right now. So if you want to stay tuned and make sure that you catch the next episode of this money series, then make sure you like this video or even subscribe to my channel, because that way you can get notified when the next episode comes, right? Because I really want to create this money series, especially for people that are probably new to the law of attraction, or maybe you want to immerse yourself with all things money so that you can attract more of it. Then make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so that way you are notified when the next episode hits next week, right? So thank you so much for joining me. It was so exciting talking about all things money and what money really, really is. I'll see you in the next video. And before you go, check out these 2 videos over here if you haven't already, to learn all things money, marketing, and metaphysics. See you next time. Bye.